Hello, my name is Carlos Irvin, and today we're going to review the Nikon Z9 manual. And also, as we look at the manual, we'll also look at some of the features in the camera. So, as most of us, we're all relatively new, and now there is the new firmware 2.0, which I hope you already downloaded. The easiest way to download is through SnapBridge, so I recommend that you do that. Okay, so first of all, to find the manual, if you put Nikon Z9 manual, you're going to get these results. So you're going to click here where it says download center, and what you're going to notice is that there is many manuals. Okay, and believe it or not, I had a hard time finding the main manual. I thought it was this one. You would think this one is the main manual, and then I realized, wait a minute, this has almost nothing. So the main manual is this one, the one that is really big. Okay, so my recommendation is that you download the main manual. Obviously, that's the one that we're going to go over, and then I would also download the setting guide for sports. So this one I'm going to do in a separate video. The video edition, that's also going to be separate. And let's see what else. Oh, and this one, sorry, not this one. This one, available roles for custom controls. This is how to set up all the custom controls. So once you download all of them, then you can open them on Acrobat. I recommend that you open them on Adobe Acrobat. That way you have here, kind of the index, and you can go relatively quickly to any of these. So I want to do today's video. I'm going to call it part 1, and I'm going to do it like for 20 minutes. I don't want to do videos that are too long. So we're probably just going to get through some of the basics, and then I'll do a separate one on the menu and a separate one on the autofocus. But we'll talk a little bit about everything today. So I like to, you see the menu, I keep it all closed, okay? By the way, I have here the camera, so as we go through some of these, I'll show you some of these in the camera. All right, so let's see. Let's look over here. One of the good things about this particular manual is that, let's say I don't understand what this is. So number one, what is this? I can click over here and it takes me directly to that page, okay? And then you click back here and then you're back, okay? So let's go through some of these. Again, this is a relatively new camera for me, but this is my 5th Nikon camera. And you've probably seen some of my videos for the D7000, D800, and D500. Actually, it's my first mirrorless camera. So let's go through some of these because some of these are the same for every Nikon. I'm going to put this a little bigger because in a moment I'm going to show you each of these things in the camera. So the first thing is this button over here. Right? So this button over here, if you press it, basically it allows you to turn this wheel. It allows you to turn this wheel. The wheel is what allows you to go from single to continuous. From single, to continuous. So this is just the shooting modes. Okay. So let me turn on the camera. Okay, so now it's on. So that's number 1. Number 2 is bracketing. So if I press on that button, okay, then basically what's going to happen is it's going to ask me, and this is on the screen. Now it's going to be on the screen. So I cannot show you the screen, but I want you to do this along with me. So just press it, and you're going to see it says right now it's off. You can do 3 stops, 5 stops, okay? And it tells you that you move the wheel, okay? The bottom one or the top one. So you can do 3, 5, up to 9. And you can, and then up top you can put a third of a stop, a seventh of a stop, 1 stop, 2 stop, 3 stops. So that's what that's for. Okay, that's very useful because I think everybody at some point, especially if you shoot landscapes, will use the bracketing function. Now this one I found very interesting because this doesn't have a flash. So if you were to put a speed light or a flash on the camera, you could control, if you want more or less light. I think right now without a flash it makes no sense. In the past, when these used to have a pop-up flash, then you could control everything with this. And when you click on this, it would just pop up the flash. Then number 4, just it has there a microphone. Number 5 is, so this is very useful that they put it in red. That way you know that's the one for video. ISO. So this is very interesting. So you see ISO is right here on the top. But if you press this button along, well, you cannot see the other one, that button and the red, the one that has the little trash can. So you see both of them say red. You click both of those at the same time, and you can it says format. So when you click on both of them, it basically formats the card, or you can set it up to reset the camera. So either way. Okay, so that's another thing that you can do. So let me see. Well, it didn't format the camera, but it resets all the settings. So that's that. This is the exposure compensation. So basically, if you, let's say the camera is not, if you have it in like aperture priority is where you put, let's say, the aperture at 2.8 or whatever you decide, and the camera automatically sets the shutter speed. But you notice that it's not doing the exposure quite right. Maybe it's a little bit dark. So you press on this, and it's like you can put like a third of a stop higher, so it's a little brighter. Or you can go down. If it's too bright, some people like it a little darker than what the camera is saying, so that's what this is for. So this is the exposure compensation button. Let's see, number 8, that's just for the strap. Number 9, so sometimes when you're doing product shots and you want to know exactly the distance where you are and so on, the distance of the camera is not here, it's really here. So this is just the focal plane of where the camera is. The other thing is if you're doing like depth of field and you want to calculate exactly where you are, so that's what it is. Number 10, control panel. That's just over here. You can see all the information in your camera. I think if you have been taking pictures for a long time, you're used to using this, and I'm glad they left it because some cameras I heard they're taking that off and they're putting everything on the screen. The screen is very useful, but sometimes I just don't look at the screen. I look at this. Accessory shoe. So this is where you put your speed light, or you can also put a microphone and so on. There's many different things that you can put in there. Number 13, this is the mode. So the mode is so let's do it together. So you should have your camera on, press mode, okay? And if you move it, you see how it changes from P is the program mode, S is the shutter priority. So again, I'm just pressing that. So this is to change the different shooting modes. So I usually have it in manual, and then depending what I'm doing, I may go to aperture priority sometimes, but I'm usually in manual. All right, so let's keep on going. And this one is when you press on this one, so let's do that. Let's press it. And basically, if you look at okay, so I have it in single. So remember, this button is to move your wheel. So move your wheel and put it on edge, high. Okay, because that's really what it's for. So when you press it, you will see either in your screen, sorry, so let's see, either in your screen, so you can see over there it says 20 frames per second, so that's the maximum, and you can change it. It allows you to change it to 15 or 12 and so on. Now, maybe here it's not so useful, but if I had it on JPEG, so I have it on RAW, and it has, I believe it goes to 100 or more shots per second, maybe you want to put it a little lower. So basically that's what it is. It just tells you how many frames per second you have it at. Okay, and then it allows you to change it with a wheel. With a wheel, when I say the wheel, this is the wheel, and this one is the control wheel. So that's kind of the way this is organized. Okay, so let's put this a little bit smaller. All right, so let's keep on going. So this is the power switch, okay? Shutter release button. This right here, it's a little light. When it's dark, it's an infrared light. Basically, it allows you to focus. So, you know, when it's completely dark, you need a little bit of light so the camera can focus, and basically that's what it is. This one, I forgot what that one is. Okay, so that's good. I forgot it. So usually what I do, I like to experiment. You know what it is? Now I know. So basically it turns on, sorry. Basically what it does is it turns on the screen or turns it off. Maybe you want to save on battery, you turn it off. Okay, so that's basically what it does. Usually they're not very descriptive. It just says button, okay. Flash sync terminal. So basically if you were using, for example, strobe lights, and you then have a remote, you can just connect a cable to the strobe light. So it's just a cable. It's called the sync cable. If you see some of my videos where I do strobe lights, you'll see that you can connect the cable here, or you can do it with radio frequency, like Power Wizards and so on. So that's that. What else do we have? And this one is the 10-pin remote. So if you buy a remote control, the Nikon remote control, it has 10 pin. There may be other things that you can plug in there, but I use it for the remote. So if you're doing landscape photography, I recommend that you buy the remote. Number 7 is for your microphone. It is right there, the connector for your microphone. So this is very straightforward. Cover, USB, and HDMI connectors. Now this one is important. So for this one, used to be over here. So this is where you can change, okay? You can change the focus modes. So basically what you do is you press this button, okay? And when you press that button, so let me show you. I press that button, and sorry. And here you see how I'm changing the different modes. So basically, I'm gonna let you look at it. So I'm gonna press it again. Press it. So you have, remember, I told you the wheel is the one in the back. So the one in the back goes from continuous focus to single focus. Wait, let me move this to single shot. I accidentally touched the press button. It took like 3 pictures. Okay, so again, you press this button here, leave it pressed, and then the wheel, right? The wheel, that's the one in the back, your thumb, right? So basically you should be changing to continuous, single, manual. So manual, very important, because I don't believe that only works in the lens. So single, again, I'm gonna do a whole autofocus, but single is when you have a static, something static. If you're taking a macro, a plant, anything that doesn't move, you use single. Continuous is when it moves. And then the one in the front, which we call the control wheel, allows you to do all the different modes within each one. So I have it right now in the C. So in the C, I have wide, manual, single, even wider, 3D, and so on. Okay, and you can keep on going. Then we're gonna talk the easiest way or the best way to do the eye detect thing is to then press the I button. Okay, so you press the I button, and now you have your menu of the different autofocus. So you press I, again, press I, and right now I have it at Y. So press the button, and then it tells you you have the different AF area modes, okay? And you can put on the bottom, you have subject detections. Okay, so you have on the bottom the subject detection. Subject detections, the first one is automatically either a person or an animal. The second one is a person. The third one is an animal, and the fourth one is a car. So for now, I'm just going to leave it off, but that's how you do it. That's the easiest way. I will teach you later how to program it with the buttons, but for now, just use the eye. So, okay, so let's keep on going. What else do we have here? Oh my God, we're in the 16-minute mark, and we're only doing the, but we've covered a lot, right? Okay, so what else? Microphone. Okay, we did the focus mode, the battery. By now you should know how to change the battery. Just, move, turn it, take it out, and do it very carefully because these things are delicate. Charge lamp. So basically tells you if it's charged. It's a little lamp over here, but it's easier just to look at the battery charger. A connector for the microphone, for Ethernet, HDMI. So again, nothing here that is very important to take pictures. So let's go to the stuff that we really want to care about. Okay, microphone for voice memos. Now you would probably say, why would I want to take a picture? A voice memo when I take a picture. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're in Yellowstone and you're in a specific place and you don't, it doesn't say the name of the place. Somebody tells you the name of the place and you can record the name of the place where you took the picture. It's really cool because you then have it associated with the picture. And you can basically, do it with that, the microphone is right there. So you basically go over here and you say, what I was going to say is you can program a function button to do that, and I will show you. Oh, actually, you don't have to do that. It's right here. Here is the microphone. Just click on that right there. This tells you if you have if your camera is on a network, okay, it will basically here. We'll go over all the network settings and all that. What I recommend that you do, because I noticed, is start with the Bluetooth and SnapBridge. You can basically do almost everything with the Bluetooth, and it's so much easier. And then you can do, the camera has its own like modem, and you can connect the two of them for remote picture taking, so you can use your camera as a remote. Okay, let's see, number 8. Be careful with pressing this button because the whole eyepiece may come off. So just know that. 9, so this is what I was telling you. This one is the format button, but you have to press it at the same time as the other button. So let me just show you. So let's see over here. So it says if you press this one, let me see. Press this one to delete the current picture. Yeah, because it's a little trash can. Display the picture you don't want. Oh, here it doesn't tell you about the format. It just tells you about I thought it was telling you about also how to format. No, it's only, okay, this is not where we were. Okay, sorry. So we did this. Okay, white balance. So this one is to change the white balance. So if you press it, again, you should have your camera on. Press, and now you have in your screen, right? You have in your screen the different white balance modes. I usually leave it in sunlight, just because what I don't like about automatic is that it's going to change every for every picture. So I rather have it on one setting, especially if I shoot raw. So then in Lightroom I can change it to whatever I want. Okay, so let's keep on going. Network. Oh, so we're talking about the network. Then number 6 is the monitor. Obviously, I call it the screen. It's strange to call it monitor. 7 is speakers. So it has, oh, right here is a speaker. I didn't know that. Then we talked about number 8, the eyepiece release. Also, we were talking about this one, yeah. This one, be careful because you can lock. And if you lock something like the focus point, then if you don't know why it's not moving, it's probably because you pressed that. Okay, so if we go over here, you can lock it. Selected can be locked. All right. So I realize that it's not going exactly to back to a rubber eye cup. Okay, viewfinder, eye sensor. So this is interesting. It knows when you have your eye there. So if you're taking pictures using the screen and then you put your eye, if you're like me, I'm very old school. I use the viewfinder for everything. I always use the viewfinder. I would only use the screen if it's convenient, right? If you have to put the camera very, very low or very, very high. Or maybe if you're doing a macro shot. By the way, you can look at my video on macros, and for macro shots, it's very convenient. Okay, so let's keep on going. Let's see, it's been 20 minutes. Okay, so let's do this relatively quickly. So diopter, this is very, very important. This button right here, let me put this a little bigger again. So if you use eyeglasses like me, okay, it won't, if you just turn it, it won't move. You have to pull it, move it, okay, and then push it. It locks. So basically what that is for people that use glasses. It has more augmentation or less. So basically so that with your glasses, you're looking through the viewfinder, and if it's out of focus, then you can adjust it here, because for people that use glasses. This one, oh yeah, that's just for the, what is that? Oh, interesting. That's so you can do, if you hit this, that's the display, and it basically, you can see how it, so let's say you're taking a landscape shot, so that's called the horizon, the vertical and horizontal horizon, so that you can put it straight. Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, okay, so it has all the things in the display. Just keep clicking and you can have many different things in the display. Okay. Then it has the lever. So if you click it up to this side is the camera, the other side is the video. Oh, interesting. So I used to have that program in a button, the display. So there is a separate display button for that. Then here, this one, number 13, it's going to be very hard for me to show you. In the camera, this is what allows you to change the metering. So the metering, you have matrix, which takes into account everything. You can put matrix, but with a focus in the center. You can put center weighted, or you can put a point weighted. So I'll explain all that in detail in another video, but that's just where you change your metering mode. I can tell you that the camera is really good in matrix. I almost always leave it in matrix. Usually, unless I'm shooting a portrait and there is a very difference in light, I may put it center weighted, so that it has a little more, the exposure has to be on the face. Okay, what else here? AF on. So this is where you can do autofocus. You can either do it here, or you can do it when you're halfway. Here in the shooter button, if halfway, then it focuses. Or you can do it, so this is the back focus. A lot of people like this one because you can focus, 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 like when something is moving, and then with the other is only when you take the shot. Now, what I will show you later is there is a really good technique that I saw the other day on television where you can do this one to change to 3D. So you do the one in the shutter button halfway, it focuses on wide, for example. So if you're shooting birds in flight, which is something that I do a lot, you do it wide, and then when you capture the bird, then you do 3D. The 3D follows the bird. So it's a technique that they show you, so you can program that for the 3D. 15, this one. Oh, okay. So this is just the same thing that they call it main command. I call it wheel. The main command is this one. So this is the same as this. It's just when you're shooting, when you're shooting horizontally, then you have the most important button. So here you have your autofocus. Okay, you have your shooter. So you have all the things to shoot vertical. By the way, it's so comfortable to shoot vertical when you have everything there. One of the things that I love about I had a vertical grip to be able to do that, and this comes incorporated. What else do we have? Okay, main command, multi-selector, memory card. So this tells you if the memory card access lamp. What is that? Memory card will light while the photograph is recorded. Do not remove the memory. Okay. I guess since I'm always taking pictures, I never look at the light. So anyway, so now we know what it is for. Oh my God, it doesn't go back to, I have to figure out how to go back to the same page so that I don't keep doing this. Okay, so we did all of these. The memory card, the I we already did. The I is one of letter I, is the most important thing. This is the one you need to play with. It gives you almost all the menus, the most important menus. And you also have it for vertical shooting right here, number 18. So let's do the whole external body and then we'll call it quits. Okay, so then we have, okay, this is very important, the lens release. Now, remember that, so I'm using the FTZ converter. So that one, this one is really for the main, let's call it the main lens, right? So because I'm using the converter has its own button. So if I press the converter, see, I can take out and turn it off. Take out the lens. And if I press this one, it takes out everything. Okay, so that's the button. What else? Lens mount, CPU contacts, never touch that. Image sensor, so these are all the things internal. Tripod socket, but here's where you're gonna put the plate, and then depending which tripod you have, then you'll have a different plate. So this one, temporarily I put this one, this is for the really right stuff. I'm waiting for the L plate to come out. So L plate means that it goes from here to here, and you can put it vertically or horizontally. What else? Subcommand dial. So I told you that I call it the wheel and the function or subcommand. Subcommand is really what most people also call it. So usually you have the main functions in the back, or actually the back is usually the settings, and this is the functions within each setting. Number 8 is, okay, so again, using the vertical grip, that's your shutter release. Number 9 is the function button for vertical shooting. So again, just take the camera and you have, this is really good. My other camera didn't have that. So you have ISO and you can program a function. Function button is whatever you want to program with, something that you use a lot. So maybe a different mode in the autofocus, for example. Security slot, so this is where you can put a lock. The ISO button, so again, this is all the stuff with a vertical grip. Number 12, so So again, all the things in the vertical group, your shutter release, you can do all the things that you do horizontally, but here, okay? And then number 15, okay, so this is very important. The two most important function buttons are these three, okay? So you have function 1, function 2. Why does it say, oh, they put it backwards. Okay, yeah, this is function 1, this is function 2, and this one is function 3. So these are your main function buttons. And you can program those buttons for whatever you want. I recommend that you do it for things that you may change in the middle of something. So I'm going to program these along with the AF for changing out of focus modes. Because let's say, remember I told you, let's say you're shooting a moving subject, right? Like a bird, moving subject. But all of a sudden, the bird stops and you want to change to a different mode, or you want to change from 3D to non-3D, or you want to change from phase detection to non-phase detection. So again, all of these things you want to be able to do it quickly, and that's what those function buttons are for. Okay, so we're in the 31-minute mark. Like I said, we're going to do several videos, but I think this one we cover a lot because I told you what all the buttons are for and explain each one. So I think the next video makes sense to go to the menus. So we'll do the most important menus in the next video. Okay, well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video.